Motorcycle dealerships have been brutally scamming you for years, and nobody warned you about it until now. Today, we'll be uncovering the 7 scams that have happened to you to prevent you from falling for these massive traps ever again. Number 1. The financing markup trap. If the showroom is the hook, the finance office is where they set the trap. This is where your simple motorcycle purchase transforms into a complex financial instrument designed to extract maximum profit from your wallet over the longest possible time period. When you apply for financing through the dealership, they don't just submit your application to one lender. They submit it to multiple lenders and receive back a range of interest rates you qualify for. Let's say the best rate you qualify for is 6.9%. The dealer is legally allowed to mark that rate up by as much as 2.5 percentage points and pocket the difference, so that 6.9% rate becomes 9.4%, and you never know the difference. On a $15,000 motorcycle financed over 60 months, that markup generates an extra $1,847 in pure profit for the dealer. You're literally paying them nearly $2,000 for the privilege of getting worse financing terms than you actually qualified for. It's like paying a restaurant to serve you burnt food when they already cooked it perfectly the first time. Finance managers at major dealership chains openly acknowledge that they make more money on rate markups than they do selling the actual motorcycles. You think you're getting dealer financing as a convenience, but you're actually paying them to deliberately worsen your loan terms. This practice is so profitable that some dealerships structure their entire business model around financing profits rather than motorcycle sales. But wait, it gets worse. Much worse. The finance manager will often present multiple payment options, claiming they're helping you find the best deal. In reality, they're testing which markup level you'll accept without questioning. They might start with a high payment, then offer a better option that's still marked up significantly from your actual qualifying rate. This psychological manipulation makes you feel grateful for terms that are still costing you thousands extra. They call this the step-down close technique, and it works on 90% of customers who walk through their doors. Basically, they're training you to sit, stay, and roll over for financial abuse while making you think they're doing you a favor. The financing markup was just the bait. What's coming next will drain your wallet faster than you think, trapping you in a payment cycle you'll oddly end up thanking them for. Number 2. Payment packing. The finance manager has been trained in what they call payment packing. Instead of discussing the total cost of the motorcycle or the interest rate, they focus entirely on monthly payments. They ask what payment you'd be comfortable with, and once you give them a number, they work backwards to pack as much profit as possible into that payment. Let's say you tell them you can afford $250 per month. They'll structure the deal to hit exactly that number, but they'll extend the loan term to 72 or even 84 months to make room for additional products. Your $15,000 bike with a reasonable 48-month loan suddenly becomes a 7-year financial commitment, and you're so focused on the monthly payment that you don't realize you're going to pay over $21,000 total. Congratulations, you just bought a motorcycle that will outlast most marriages and cost more than some people's cars. Here's where it gets truly predatory. Once they've structured the loan to hit your target payment, they start adding products. Extended warranty for $1,200? They frame it as only adding $18 to your monthly payment. Gap insurance for $800? Just $12 more per month. Tire and wheel protection for $600? Only $9 per month. Former finance managers reveal that they never discuss total cost with customers. Everything is framed in terms of monthly payments because customers lose all sense of the actual money they're spending when focused on that single number. This psychological manipulation is so effective that dealers can often double the total cost of ownership while keeping the monthly payment exactly where you said you wanted it. Before you know it, you've agreed to $2,600 in additional products that you probably don't need, and your payment is still exactly what you said you could afford. The dealer just made an extra $2,600 in profit, and you're locked into a loan that will take 7 years to pay off. The most insidious part is how they make you feel smart for staying within your budget, while they've actually maximized their profit margins at your expense. It's like a pickpocket congratulating you for keeping your wallet in an easy-to-reach pocket. They even use phrases like, "You're being responsible," to reinforce this false sense of financial wisdom. You think payment packing is bad? Wait until you hear about the product they push hardest, the one with profit margins so obscene, it would make a loan shark blush. Number 3. The extended warranty scam. You need to know about the most profitable product in that finance office, the extended warranty. These contracts are pure gold for dealerships, with profit margins that would make drug dealers jealous. A typical motorcycle extended warranty costs you $1,200 to $2,000, but the dealer only pays the warranty company $300 to $600 for that same coverage. The rest is pure profit, split between the dealership and the finance manager who sold it to you. So basically, you're paying $1,500 for $300 worth of coverage. It's like buying a candy bar for $20 because the cashier promised it comes with premium unwrapping services. But here's the real scam. Most of these warranties are designed to deny claims, not pay them. The contracts are filled with exclusions, limitations, and requirements that make it nearly impossible for you to actually use the coverage you paid for. You could pay $1,500 for extended warranty coverage, only to have your claim denied because you couldn't prove you changed the oil exactly every 3,000 miles with receipts from authorized service centers, or because the failure was deemed normal wear and tear, even though your bike was only 2 years old. Warranty company claims adjusters admit that their primary job isn't to pay claims, but to find reasons not to pay claims. They have entire departments dedicated to finding loopholes in contract language that allow them to deny coverage. The most common denial reasons include improper maintenance documentation, using non-approved parts, or claiming the damage falls under normal wear exclusions that are so broadly written they can apply to almost any mechanical failure. The warranty companies have entire departments dedicated to finding reasons to deny your claims. They know that you won't fight a denial, especially when the repair cost is less than the hassle of appealing the decision. These companies have turned claim denial into an art form. They probably have employees whose job title is Professional Dream Crusher, and they get bonuses for making customers cry. Even worse, many of these warranties are use it or lose it products. If you don't file claims equal to what you paid for the warranty, you don't get any money back. The warranty company keeps your money as pure profit. Industry insiders reveal that less than 30% of warranty holders ever file a single claim, and of those who do, over 60% get denied on their first attempt. The warranty companies actually budget for claim denial rates and structure their profit models around customers who give up after the initial rejection. If you think the finance office is where the bleeding stops, think again, because once you drive off the lot, the real bloodletting begins, and it won't stop for years. Number 4. The service department money machine. Once they've got you locked into financing and loaded up with products, the service department becomes their long-term profit center. This is where they milk you for years after your initial sale. Motorcycle dealerships have perfected the art of creating dependency. They'll tell you that using non-dealer service will void your warranty, which is actually illegal under the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, but you don't know that. They'll insist that only their technicians are qualified to work on your bike, even for basic maintenance that any competent mechanic can handle. Apparently, changing your oil requires a PhD in motorcycle engineering and can only be performed by someone who went to Harley University or whatever made-up certification program they're peddling this week. The markup on the service is astronomical. That oil change that costs them $15 in parts and labor gets billed to you for $89. The air filter that costs $12 wholesale becomes a $45 service item plus $60 in labor to install something that takes 5 minutes. But the real money is in the upsell. Every time you bring your bike in for routine maintenance, they'll find something else that needs attention. Brake fluid that's contaminated, coolant that's degraded, or spark plugs that are due for replacement, even though they have thousands of miles left. Service advisors openly acknowledge having monthly quotas for upsells. If they don't sell a certain amount of additional services per oil change, they face disciplinary action. This creates pressure to find problems, whether they actually exist or not. The service department operates on what they call inspection opportunities, where every routine service becomes a chance to discover expensive repairs. They're trained to use fear-based selling tactics, warning you about potential safety issues or catastrophic failures if you don't address minor maintenance items immediately. Service advisors get bonuses for hitting upsell targets. They have quotas for how much additional work they need to sell beyond your original service request. Your $89 oil change becomes a $400 service visit because they convinced you that your bike needed $300 worth of additional maintenance. It's like going to the doctor for a checkup and leaving with a prescription for experimental surgery because your shoelaces looked suspicious. Just when you think you're finally ahead, the dealership pulls their most ruthless scam yet. This one doesn't just take your money, it erases your progress. Number 5. The trade-in trap. When it's time for you to upgrade, the dealership has one more opportunity to extract profit. Your trade-in. This is where they complete the cycle of financial extraction that started when you first walked in their door. Trade-in values are completely subjective and heavily manipulated in the dealer's favor. They'll use outdated pricing guides, point out every minor flaw, and lowball your bike's value by thousands of dollars. That bike you paid $15,000 for 3 years ago? They'll offer you $6,000 in trade, even though it's worth $9,000 in the private market. They'll inspect your bike like they're CSI investigators looking for evidence of a crime, finding problems that would make a forensic accountant jealous. But here's the real scam. They don't actually care what they pay you for your trade. They're going to manipulate the numbers anyway. If you negotiate them up from $6,000 to $7,500 on your trade, they'll just add $1,500 to the price of the new bike you're buying. You think you won the negotiation, but you're actually paying the same total amount. This is called working the numbers, and every dealer does it. They have 4 variables to play with: the price of the new bike, the value of your trade, the interest rate, and the loan term. They'll move money between these categories to make you think you're getting a deal while maintaining their profit margins. Sales managers explain their strategy as making customers think they're negotiating 4 separate deals, when it's really just one deal with 4 moving parts. They can make you feel like you won on trade value while they extract profit through financing terms. The trade-in appraisal process itself is designed to devalue your bike through nitpicking inspections that focus on cosmetic flaws while ignoring the mechanical condition. They'll claim your tires need replacement soon, point out minor scratches, or suggest that certain wear items reduce the value significantly. Meanwhile, they'll turn around and sell that same bike for thousands more after minimal reconditioning. The most insidious part is that they'll often roll negative equity from your trade into your new loan. If you owe $8,000 on your current bike, but it's only worth $6,000, they'll add that $2,000 difference to your new loan. You're literally paying for a bike you no longer own, and you don't even realize it's happening. This is where it gets dangerous, because now they're not just scamming you, they're programming you. You're not making decisions, they are, and you don't even know it. Number 6. The psychological manipulation. Everything described so far is just the mechanical side of the scam. The real artistry is in the psychological manipulation that makes it all possible for you to fall victim. Dealerships employ sophisticated psychological tactics that would impress a professional con artist. They create artificial time pressure with limited time offers and manager specials that expire at the end of the day. They use social proof by telling you about other customers who jumped on similar deals or how particular bikes are flying off the lot. The finance office is specifically designed to wear down your resistance. You've already spent hours at the dealership, you're emotionally invested in the bike, and you're mentally exhausted from the negotiation process. The finance manager knows you just want to get it over with, and they use that fatigue against you. They'll present complex financial information quickly, using jargon and numbers that are hard for you to follow. They'll bundle multiple products together, so you can't easily calculate the individual costs. They'll use phrases like, "for just pennies a day," to make expensive products seem affordable to you. One of the most effective tactics is the takeaway. If you hesitate on an extended warranty, they'll suddenly act like it might not be available. They create artificial scarcity around products they desperately want to sell you. Former sales trainers acknowledge studying casino psychology extensively. Everything from the lighting to the music to the way they position products is designed to override logical thinking. They want customers to make emotional decisions, not rational ones. The dealership environment is carefully orchestrated to create what psychologists call decision fatigue, where your ability to make rational choices deteriorates over time. They'll keep you there for hours, wearing down your mental defenses through repetitive negotiations and information overload. The finance office uses specific seating arrangements where you're positioned lower than the finance manager, creating a subconscious power dynamic. They even control the temperature and lighting to make you uncomfortable enough to want to finish quickly, but not so uncomfortable that you leave. They've literally turned buying a motorcycle into a psychological torture chamber where you pay extra for the honor of being mentally manipulated by someone who probably couldn't pass a basic math test. You made it out with the bike, but now comes the slowest, bloodiest ripoff of them all. This final scam drains you month after month, disguised as harmless upgrades. Scam number 7. The Accessory Markup Massacre. But just when you think you've escaped their clutches with your new bike, they unleash their most vicious profit extraction scheme yet. One so ruthlessly profitable that it makes every previous scam look like pocket change, and it's designed to keep bleeding you dry for years to come. Here's the final scam that dealers use to bleed you dry: the astronomical markup on accessories and parts. This is where they turn your motorcycle purchase into a never-ending profit stream that continues long after you've driven off the lot. When you're buying your bike, the salesperson will inevitably suggest accessories: a windscreen, saddlebags, performance exhaust, or heated grips. What they don't tell you is that these accessories carry markup rates that would make a jewelry store blush, often 200% to 400% above wholesale cost. That $300 windscreen the dealer is selling, they bought it for $75. The $800 exhaust system, their cost was $200. The $150 tank bag, they paid $35 for it. At these markup rates, you'd think these accessories were handcrafted by unicorns using materials mined from the moon. But here's where it gets truly predatory. They'll often present these accessories as package deals or installation specials that make it impossible for you to see the individual markups. The installation labor is where they really go for the kill. Simple bolt-on accessories that take 15 minutes to install get charged out at 2 to 3 hours of shop time. That windscreen installation that any rider could do in their driveway with basic tools becomes a $180 labor charge on top of the already inflated part price. Apparently, installing a windscreen now requires the same skill level as performing brain surgery. At least that's what they're charging you for. But the real genius of this scam is the timing. They present these accessories when you're already committed to the bike purchase, your defenses are down, and you're thinking about monthly payments rather than total cost. For just $25 more per month, you can have the touring package, they'll say, not mentioning that the $25 per month over 60 months means you're paying $1,500 for accessories that cost them $400. Some dealers even require you to buy certain accessories as a condition of the sale, claiming they're dealer-installed options that can't be removed. This is often illegal, but they count on customers not knowing their rights or being too exhausted from the buying process to fight back. Former parts managers admit that accessory sales often generate more profit per square foot than motorcycle sales. A small display of phone mounts and tank bags can generate more profit margin than an entire row of motorcycles. That's why you'll see accessories prominently displayed throughout the showroom. They're profit centers designed to separate you from your money at every opportunity. Now that you understand how these scams work, you can't be victimized by them. The power to change this predatory system lies in educated consumers who refuse to be taken advantage of. If these dealership scams shocked you, click the next video to discover more of what motorcycle companies are doing behind the scenes.